I think people need to see how there are actual results being delivered in people's lives. I think people are tired of the political games. I think they're tired of the back and forth and the finger pointing. They just want to know, are you delivering for the people in your state and delivering for the people of this country? And that's the frustration that I think people have of not just a Democratic Party, but I think what we're seeing right now on the national level, where we are seeing where people are struggling with things like rising prices. We're seeing how trade wars are going to inherently, and people, let's be clear, tariffs are taxes, and they're going to increase prices on people's lives. That they're frustrated when you're watching these arbitrary layoffs that are taking place of our federal workers, people who are doing things like making sure our food is safe and making sure that we're doing things like cancer research. And they're now being told that their job is by people who are never willing to take the same oath that they did. So the frustration that people feel, I think, is real, and that's why the answer is you have got to deliver results in people's lives.
And is that the same answer to the question that you have posed about why so many young men have left your party? I mean, young men, this is a group that Joe Biden won by double digits in 2020. Donald Trump won young men in 2024. That's a huge swing. So was it your policies? Was it your message? Or is it both?
Well, I think about the foundation for our race in the first place. It was young people, and a lot of it was young men, because I think we were speaking to them and not speaking at them. I think we were bringing them into, because if you look at the data that we have about young men in our society, there is a fall off. The level of suicide rate for young men has exploded. When you're looking at the fact that the employment rate and the job participation numbers have not grown for young men in this country since 1964.
And Governor, you did that on a state level. Forgive me, you did that on a state level. Are you saying that that is something that is missing in your party on a national level?
I think everybody needs to address the fact that if you look at the data and what happened, and the reason that we've really gotten here is if you just look at the data, that 30, 40 years ago, that there was a real fall off with young women, and there was a big push, a policy push towards making sure that we're directing more support towards our young women. Now what's happened is a pendulum has swung. You've got to follow the data. And that's why in Maryland, we have made it an all of government and all of society effort to be able to do things like get more men inside of the classroom, to get more men inside of healthcare, to make sure that we're doing things like reforming of a juvenile justice system and providing more supports for young boys that are falling in the juvenile justice system and giving them a legitimate shot at having a second chance. That this is not just going to be good for young men, it's going to be good for our large society. So I'm proud of the fact that Maryland is leading the charge on this, but I do want this to be a larger national conversation about what are we doing to bring young men back into the fold, because it's not just about elections, it's about the future of our society that we can solve this challenge.